Detroit. The world knows it as the Motor City, built on assembly lines and horsepower. But beneath the grid of 8 Mile and the headlines of bankruptcy, a different kind of engine has been quietly humming. It is fueled not by gasoline, but by equity. We are tracking the women who took the broken pieces of a city and built fortresses. From global finance titans controlling trillion-dollar deal flows to industrial magnates and gospel royalty, these are the 15 richest black women in Detroit. Number 15. Nailah Ellis, the beverage disruptor. We begin our countdown with the embodiment of the modern Detroit hustle. A woman who proved that you don't need a boardroom or a venture capital fund to build a national brand. You just need a trunk, a family secret, and an internal fire that refuses to go out. Nailah Ellis is the founder of Ellis Island Tea, and her rise to the top is quickly becoming the stuff of urban legend. Her story didn't start in a high-rise. It started with a recipe passed down from her Jamaican great-grandfather, Siebert Ellis, who was a master chef for Marcus Garvey's Black Star line. He carried the formula for a specific, nutrient-rich hibiscus tea with him to America, a piece of intellectual property that would lie dormant until his great-granddaughter decided to turn it into an empire. In a city known for manufacturing cars, Nailah decided to manufacture culture. But she didn't have a safety net. She was a college dropout with a vision, brewing tea in her mother's basement in the middle of the night. In the early days, this wasn't a glamorous startup story. It was gritty. She was literally selling bottles out of the trunk of her car on the streets of Detroit, pitching to anyone who would listen. Most people would have quit when the Michigan winter hit, but Nailah operates with a different kind of internal furnace. She understood that in the beverage game, distribution is king. She hustled her way into a meeting with Whole Foods, and through sheer force of will and product quality, she became the first African-American female beverage manufacturer to gain national distribution with the retailer. That was the spark. Today, Ellis Island Tea is a multi-million-dollar operation housed in a massive, state-of-the-art production facility right here in Detroit. This is key. She didn't outsource the work to a packer in another state. She built the manufacturing infrastructure herself. Her wealth is tied to ownership. She owns her manufacturing, she owns her recipe, and she owns her distribution channels. Her success recently caught the eye of Hollywood. She attracted a significant investment from Kevin Hart and his firm, Heartbeat Ventures, signaling her transition from a local hero to a national player. Nailah represents the new money of Detroit. Young, aggressive, and completely self-made. She bought the building she operates in, turning a blighted property into a symbol of economic resurrection. She proves that in the new Detroit, the most valuable real estate isn't the land. It's the intellectual property you carry in your head. Number 14. Melissa Butler, the beauty revolutionary. If Nailah Ellis conquered the grocery shelves, Melissa Butler conquered the mirror. As the founder and CEO of the Lip Bar, Butler is the woman who walked into the Shark Tank, got laughed at by Kevin O'Leary, and then walked out to build a beauty empire that made every doubter look foolish. Butler started her career on Wall Street working as a financial analyst. This gave her a deadly advantage in the beauty game. She understood the P&L statements, the margins, and the supply chain logistics long before she understood the chemistry of lipstick. Frustrated by the beauty industry's linear standard of beauty and the toxic chemicals found in traditional cosmetics, she started mixing lipstick in her kitchen in her spare time. But the real wealth story here is her pivot from kitchen chemist to retail giant. After being told her business had no future on national television, she didn't fold. She doubled down on her digital marketing and brand identity. She secured placement in Target, CVS, and Walmart, scaling the Lip Bar into one of the largest independent beauty brands in the country. Her flagship store in downtown Detroit is more than a retail space. It is a monument to betting on yourself. It sits in the heart of the city's resurgence, a physical flag planted in the ground that says, "Black beauty is big business." In 2022, she raised a reported $6.7 million funding round to launch her second brand, Thread Beauty, further expanding her portfolio and targeting the Gen Z market. Melissa's net worth is built on equity and valuation. By retaining control and scaling efficiently, she has created a company valued in the tens of millions. She lives the lifestyle of a modern mogul, jet-setting to fashion weeks, mingling with the global elite, and being featured in Forbes and Inc. magazine, but she keeps her headquarters in Detroit. She represents the disruptor class. She proves that you don't have to move to Los Angeles or New York to redefine global beauty standards. You can do it from the D with a shade of lipstick called Boss Lady and a business model that defies the odds. Number 13. Rhonda Walker, the media matriarch. In a city that values loyalty above almost anything else, Rhonda Walker is royalty. For over 2 decades, she has been the morning face of WDIV-TV Local 4, waking up Detroiters and guiding them through the city's triumphs, tragedies, and rebirth. But do not mistake her for just a newsreader. Rhonda Walker is a brand, a corporation, and a powerhouse in her own right. In the media industry, longevity equals leverage. Walker has negotiated contracts that place her among the highest-paid broadcast journalists in the Midwest. However, her placement on this list is not just about a salary. It is about social capital and foundation wealth. She is the founder of the Rhonda Walker Foundation, an organization that has raised millions of dollars to empower inner-city teen girls. While this is a non-profit, the ability to mobilize that kind of capital puts her at the center of Detroit's power structure. When Rhonda calls, CEOs answer. When she hosts a gala, the checkbooks of the city's elite open up. Her personal wealth profile is bolstered by her union with Jason Drumheller, a high-level wealth management executive. This creates a power household that merges media influence with deep financial expertise. Together, they are a fixture on the high society gala circuit, often chairing events that raise 6 figures in a single night. Their lifestyle reflects this status: exclusive vacations, a stunning home in the affluent suburbs, and a wardrobe that is meticulously curated and widely admired. Rhonda's wealth is also diversified into health and wellness. She is a fitness enthusiast who has monetized her image through partnerships, speaking engagements, and lifestyle branding. She represents the public trust. In Detroit, people buy what Rhonda supports. That level of influence is an asset class of its own, one that she has carefully managed, protected, and grown for 20 years. She proves that your name, when kept pristine, is the ultimate currency. Number 12. Dr. Iris Taylor, the turnaround queen. Wealth in Detroit isn't always flashy. It doesn't always drive a Lamborghini or wear a logo. Sometimes it wears a white coat and sits at the head of a boardroom table, making life or death decisions that affect thousands. Dr. Iris Taylor is a titan of the medical industry, a woman who specialized in saving hospitals that everyone else had given up on. As the former CEO of Detroit Receiving Hospital and University Health Center, she managed budgets that would make most corporate CEOs dizzy. We are talking about a Level 1 trauma center that is the heartbeat of the city's emergency infrastructure, a place where chaos is constant and the financial stakes are astronomical. Under her leadership, the hospital didn't just survive, it thrived. She navigated complex mergers, oversaw multi-million-dollar renovations, and managed a workforce of thousands. Executive compensation in the healthcare sector is enormous, with base salaries, performance bonuses, and deferred compensation packages often reaching into the millions annually. But Dr. Taylor's wealth extends beyond her paycheck. She is a professional board member, a lucrative career path for retired executives. She has sat on the boards of the Detroit Public Schools Community District and major corporate entities. Board seats are significant income generators, offering stock options and retainers that allow wealth to compound quietly in the background. She is also a high-level consultant, lending her turnaround expertise to other struggling organizations for a premium fee. Dr. Taylor lives a life of quiet, dignified luxury. She resides in one of Detroit's historic, affluent neighborhoods, areas like Palmer Woods or the Gold Coast, where the homes are mansions built by the automotive barons of the 1920s. She represents intellectual capital. She didn't sell a product, she sold leadership. And in a city that has faced as many crises as Detroit, competent, battle-tested leadership is the most expensive commodity on the market. Number 11. Faye Nelson, the corporate architect. If you have ever walked along the stunning Detroit riverfront, watched the sunset over the water, or ridden a bike along the DeQuinder Cut, you are walking on the legacy of Faye Nelson. She is the woman who turned a wasteland of concrete and abandoned silos into a sparkling jewel that attracted billions in investment. As the former CEO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, she didn't just manage a park. She orchestrated a massive fundraising masterclass, pulling over $160 million from the Kresge Foundation, General Motors, and the city itself to terraform the city's edge. But Faye Nelson's personal wealth journey is defined by her ability to move seamlessly between the nonprofit and corporate worlds, leveling up at every turn. After transforming the riverfront, she transitioned to become a vice president at DTE Energy and the president of the DTE Energy Foundation. In the utility sector, executive compensation is top tier, often including significant stock grants and performance incentives. She then transitioned to the W.K. Kellogg Foundation as the Michigan director, overseeing a portfolio of grants worth tens of millions. This career trajectory, CEO, VP, director, has allowed her to accumulate significant wealth through salary, performance bonuses, and corporate benefits. Nelson is the definition of a power broker. She is the person you call when you need to move a mountain in Detroit. She sits on the board of CompuWare and other major entities, further solidifying her financial standing. Her lifestyle is one of understated power, impeccable tailoring, exclusive memberships, and a Rolodex that includes governors and billionaires. Faye Nelson proves that you can build a fortune while building the public good. She didn't just gentrify the riverfront, she monetized her ability to get big things done in a complex political environment. Number 10. Vivian Pickard, the philanthropic gatekeeper. In Detroit, General Motors is the sun around which everything orbits. And for years, Vivian Pickard was the high priestess of its checkbook. As the president of the General Motors Foundation and director of corporate relations, Pickard controlled the flow of hundreds of millions of dollars into the community. While this was corporate money, the position came with a corporate executive package that placed her firmly in the 1%. Pickard's career at GM spanned decades, allowing her to accumulate stock options, pension benefits, and performance bonuses during the automaker's most profitable years. But her wealth is also social. By controlling the philanthropy of a Fortune 10 company, she became one of the most socially connected women in Michigan. Since retiring, she hasn't slowed down. She launched her own consulting firm, the Pickard Group, leveraging her massive network to help other organizations navigate the complex world of corporate giving and community relations. She sits on the boards of the Sphinx Organization and Fifth Third Bank, Eastern Michigan, positions that come with significant financial rewards and influence. Vivian lives in a world of black tie galas, private dinners, and international travel. Her home is a sanctuary of art and culture, reflecting her deep patronage of the Detroit art scene. She represents institutional wealth. She proves that if you stay loyal to a corporate giant and rise to the C-suite, you walk away with a golden parachute that lasts for generations. She is the bridge between the boardroom and the street, and she charges a toll for crossing it. Number 9. Dorinda Clark Cole, the Rose of Gospel. Now we enter the realm of Detroit royalty, the gospel dynasties that have turned the pulpit into a global stage. Dorinda Clark Cole is not just a singer, she is a diversified conglomerate. As a member of the legendary Clark sisters, she helped pioneer the Detroit sound of gospel that influenced everyone from Beyoncé to Mariah Carey. But Dorinda, known as the Rose of Gospel, figured out early that singing was just the marketing funnel. The real money was in the merchandise. She built a diversified business empire that includes her own clothing line, the Rose Collection. In the church world, fashion is huge business. Sunday hats, intricate suits, and couture dresses are a recession-proof market, and Dorinda corners it. Her line is sold nationally and has been a staple in the church fashion industry for years. She is also a syndicated radio host, a television evangelist with her own show, and a savvy real estate investor. Dorinda has been an administrator at the Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ, helping to manage a congregation that operates like a mid-sized corporation. Her wealth is visible in her presentation. She is never seen without being immaculate, dripping in diamonds and furs that signal her success. But beneath the glam is a grinder. She tours relentlessly, sells merchandise globally, and owns her intellectual property. She represents the faith economy, proving that the business of saving souls can also build a serious bank account if you own the platform and the product. Number 8. Karen Clark Sheard, the reality queen of gospel. If Dorinda is the fashionista of the Clark sisters, Karen Clark Sheard is the mogul. As the youngest sister, she has arguably had the most successful solo crossover career, collaborating with secular artists like Faith Evans and Missy Elliott, expanding her reach beyond the church walls. But Karen's real flex is Carew Records. Along with her husband, Bishop J. Drew Sheard, she founded her own record label. Instead of signing a bad deal with a major label that would take 80% of the profits, she signed herself. She controls the masters, the publishing, and the distribution for her family's music, including her daughter, the chart-topping Kiara Sheard. This ownership model means that every stream, every download, and every radio play puts money directly into the Sheard family trust. Karen also conquered television with the reality show The Sheards, which aired on BET. Reality TV checks, combined with executive producer credits, added another layer of liquidity to her portfolio. As the First Lady of Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ, where her husband is the presiding bishop of the entire denomination globally, she helps oversee a massive religious organization with significant real estate assets in Detroit. The Sheard family lives in a palatial estate in one of Detroit's wealthy suburbs, complete with a home studio and luxury amenities. Karen's net worth is estimated in the tens of millions, built on the solid rock of ownership. She didn't just sing the melody, she bought the publishing rights to the song. Number 7. Chrisette Ellis, the sales dynasty. In Detroit, the pink Cadillac is a symbol of power, and no one drives it with more authority than Chrisette Ellis. While she is widely known as the First Lady of Greater Grace Temple, one of the largest and most influential megachurches in Detroit, her personal wealth is self-generated and staggering. Chrisette Ellis is a national sales director for Mary Kay Cosmetics. Now, before you think door-to-door sales, understand the level she operates at. She is in the top 1% of the entire global organization. She has built a downline of thousands of consultants that generates millions of dollars in sales volume annually. In the direct sales world, reaching the national sales director level is like winning the lottery, except the payout is recurring. She earns a percentage of everything her massive team sells, creating a passive income stream that rivals corporate CEO salaries, often reaching into the high 6 or even 7 figures annually. Combined with the influence of Greater Grace Temple, which owns a massive complex known as the City of David, complete with a funeral home, a banquet hall, and a print shop, Chrisette is a powerhouse. She is a master of motivation, traveling the country to teach women how to turn lipstick into leverage. Her lifestyle is unapologetically lavish. Designer wardrobes, luxury vehicles, and a home that reflects her dual status as a business tycoon and religious royalty. Chrisette Ellis teaches us that real power comes from building systems that work without you. She proves that you can serve God and the bottom line at the same time. Number 6. Robin Terry, the legacy keeper. There is wealth that you make, and then there is wealth that you protect. Robin Terry is the guardian of the crown jewels of Detroit culture. As the chairwoman and CEO of the Motown Museum, she is the niece of Berry Gordy and the granddaughter of Esther Gordy Edwards. She holds the keys to the legacy of Motown Records, arguably the most important cultural export in Detroit's history. For years, Hitsville, USA was a small, humble museum. Robin Terry had a bigger vision. She is currently spearheading a massive $75 million expansion that will transform the museum into a world-class tourist destination and entertainment campus. This isn't just about fundraising, it's about asset management and cultural preservation. Terry navigates the complex world of intellectual property, licensing, and brand partnerships with global giants like Universal Music Group. Her personal wealth is tied to the Gordy Family Trust and her own executive career, But her real power lies in her control over the Motown narrative. She deals with billionaires, politicians, and music legends as peers. Under her watch, the Motown brand has remained pristine and profitable. She lives a life that honors her lineage, sophisticated, private, and deeply connected to the arts. Robin Terry represents dynastic wealth. She didn't just inherit a name, she is expanding the estate for the next generation. Number 5. Judge Trudy Duncombe Archer, the legal matriarch. In Detroit, the Archer name is synonymous with power, and Judge Trudy Duncombe Archer is the other half of that equation. Married to Dennis Archer, the former mayor of Detroit and the first black president of the American Bar Association, Trudy Archer established her own formidable legacy on the bench. She served as a judge for the 36th District Court, one of the busiest courts in America. While a judge's salary is comfortable, the Archer wealth comes from the massive legal and consulting empire they built post-public service. The Archers are the ultimate power couple. They are deeply embedded in the corporate boards of Detroit. Trudy has served on the boards of major organizations, including the Detroit Symphony Orchestra and the Detroit Medical Center. Their wealth is old guard, stable, invested in blue-chip stocks, real estate, and municipal bonds. They live in the Palmer Woods district, in a historic mansion that has hosted presidents, senators, and dignitaries. Trudy represents the intersection of law, politics, and high society. She is the woman who knows where all the bodies are buried and how to ensure they get a fair trial. Her influence is quiet but absolute. In Detroit, you do not move up the political ladder without the nod from the Archers. Number 4. Yvette Bing, the Steel Magnolia. Before there were tech startups, there was steel. And Yvette Bing has lived at the center of Detroit's industrial wealth for decades. Married to Dave Bing, the NBA Hall of Famer, former mayor, and founder of the Bing Group, Yvette was a key partner in a manufacturing empire. The Bing Group was one of the largest black-owned steel processing and auto supply companies in the nation, with revenues once topping $300 million. While the company was eventually sold, the wealth generated from decades of supplying steel to the big three automakers created a massive family fortune. But Yvette is not just a wife. She is a civic force. She founded the Bing Youth Institute and has raised millions for Detroit schools. Her fundraising prowess is legendary. She can get corporate checkbooks to open with a single phone call. Yvette's lifestyle is the definition of Detroit elite. From their stunning condo on the riverfront to their involvement in every major city initiative, the Bings are Detroit's answer to the Obamas. Yvette's wealth is solid, industrial, and real. It wasn't built on algorithms, it was built on stamping presses and supply chains. She represents the era when Detroit made things, and she made sure her family got paid for every ton of steel that rolled off the line. Number 3. Carla Walker Miller, the Energy Titan. Now we step into the territory of massive scale. Carla Walker Miller is a force of nature. She is the founder and CEO of Walker Miller Energy Services, one of the largest black and woman-owned energy efficiency firms in the United States. Carla didn't inherit this. She started the company in 2000 after an 18-year corporate engineering career, and she nearly went broke in the 2008 recession. She famously tells stories of staring at the ceiling, wondering how to make payroll. But she didn't fold. She pivoted. She positioned her company to ride the green energy wave before it was trendy. Today, her firm generates reported revenues of nearly $70 million annually and employs hundreds of people. She holds massive contracts with utility giants to manage their efficiency programs. This is B2B wealth at its finest. Carla is also the first black-owned company in Michigan to achieve B Corp certification, proving she values profit and people equally. Her personal wealth is skyrocketing as the energy transition accelerates. She lives in a luxury high-rise, travels globally, and sits on the most powerful boards in the state, including the Detroit Means Business Coalition. Carla Walker Miller represents resilience wealth. She took a niche industry, energy auditing and efficiency, and turned it into an empire. She proves that the green economy is the next frontier for black wealth. Number 2. Pamela Rogers, the dealership tycoon. If you know Detroit, you know that owning a car dealership is the golden ticket. But Pamela Rogers didn't just buy a ticket, she bought the whole stadium. She is the former owner and president of Rogers Chevrolet, and her story is a masterclass in survival. A Duke MBA graduate, she started as a financial analyst at Ford before realizing the real money was in retail. She took over a struggling dealership in Flat Rock and turned it around. Then she moved to Woodhaven and built Rogers Chevrolet into a powerhouse. But here is why she is number 2. The crash. During the 2008 financial crisis, GM was closing dealerships left and right. They sent her a letter saying her franchise was being terminated. Pamela Rogers did not accept that. She fought back. She joined a coalition of rejected dealers, proved her profitability, her customer loyalty, and her operational excellence. She was one of the few dealers to be reinstated, and she came back stronger than ever. Her dealership generated over $80 million in annual revenue, cementing her status as a titan in the industry. While she has since transitioned out of daily ownership, her legacy and the wealth generated from decades of automotive dominance are secure. She sits on the board of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy and is a major investor in city development. Her wealth is estimated in the high 8 figures. She lives in the exclusive Detroit Golf Club community, surrounded by the old money of the auto industry. Pamela Rogers represents grit and grind. She went toe-to-toe with General Motors and won. Number 1. Suzanne Shank, the Wall Street Queen of the Midwest. We have arrived at the summit. The richest, most powerful Black woman in Detroit, and arguably one of the most powerful women in global finance, is Suzanne Shank. While others on this list make millions, Suzanne Shank moves trillions. She is the president, CEO, and co-founder of Siebert Williams Shank Company, the top-ranked minority and woman-owned investment banking firm in the United States. Suzanne started as a civil engineer but realized the infrastructure projects she was designing needed funding. So she went to Wharton for her MBA and moved to Wall Street. In 1996, she co-founded her firm. Today, that firm has participated in over $3 trillion in infrastructure financing and corporate bond deals. When a city needs to build an airport, a stadium, or a school system, they call Suzanne Shank to find the money. Her firm is a dual-headquartered giant with offices in Wall Street and Detroit. Suzanne's personal net worth is kept private, but based on her assets under management and deal flow, she is firmly in the ultra-high net worth category. She owns a stunning mansion in Detroit's Palmer Woods, restored to Gilded Age perfection. She flies private not for luxury, but for efficiency. She sits on the boards of rocket companies, Consumers Energy, and the Kresge Foundation. Suzanne Shank is the capitalist. She controls the lifeblood of the economy, capital itself. She proves that a Black girl from Savannah can come to Detroit and build a financial fortress that rivals anything in Manhattan. She is the undisputed queen of Detroit wealth. From the trunk of Nailah Ellis's car to the trillion-dollar trading desk of Suzanne Shank, these women have rewritten the narrative of Detroit. Which of these Motor City moguls inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to Black Status and like this video to keep the movement growing. We'll see you at the top.